What I'm going to explain for you today are the different time expressions that you'll use for past actions. We have the expressions for, since, and ago. And these notes are written out for you in French, so I'll read the description and then I'll translate that for you into English. So the first expression is depuis, used to mean for a duration of time in the past. Depuis est utilisé pour exprimer une durée de temps pour une action qui a commencé dans le passé et qui continue jusqu'au présent. En français, on conjugue le verbe au présent, mais en anglais, on utilise le temps past perfect progressive, have or has been doing. So depuis is used to express a duration of time for an action that began in the past and continues until the present. In French, you're going to conjugate your verb in the present tense. In English, these are sentences where we would use what's called the past perfect progressive. That's a verb tense that doesn't exist in French. So the past perfect progressive in English is when we're saying, I have been doing, or he has been doing something. So we're talking about have been doing something for a duration of time. The structure where you're going to use this is you're going to put depuis and then the time, the duration of time, and you're going to put that à la fin de la phrase, at the end of the sentence. So if we just look at that part of those expressions in these sentences, we have depuis 3 mois, depuis 5 ans, for 3 months, for 5 years. So I'm not going to write these translations out in English. You don't need to watch me write that, but I'll tell you what they say. So je travaille ici. Notice that verb is in the present tense. I work. What we're saying in English is I have been working here for 3 months. So it started in the past 3 months ago and continues up to right now. Because that verb tense doesn't exist in French, they use the present tense because it's still happening at the present right now. So je travaille ici depuis 3 mois. I have been working here for 3 months. Nous étudions le français depuis 5 ans. We have been studying French for 5 years. Again, present tense, nous étudions, for we have been studying. The word depuis is also used to mean since, and pour exprimer since un moment de temps dans le passé, pour une action qui continue au présent. En français, on conjugue le verbe au présent, mais en anglais, on utilise le temps past perfect progressive, have or has been doing. So this is really similar to the first one, for. Since we're expressing since a moment of time in the past, for an action that continues to the present. In French, we're conjugating the verb in the present tense, but in English, we'll use the past perfect progressive, have or has been doing. For the structure, you're going to put depuis, temps, ou action. So you can express this as since a time, like since last year, or since an action, since something happened. And if you're saying since something happened, that something that happened would be conjugated in the passé composé. So the first example is with an action, depuis j'ai mangé le dîner. And so the structure tells you depuis, whatever the time or action is, au commencement ou à la fin de la phrase. It's more common being at the end of the sentence, but it can go at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. So the first example here uses since in action and is placed at the end of the sentence. Je suis malade depuis j'ai mangé le dîner. I have been sick since I ate the lunch. So that's an action, that's something happened. I ate lunch. That's in the passé composé. Oops, wrong pen. And je suis malade is in the present tense. Okay, I have been sick. It doesn't have the ing because we're using the verb to be, but I have been sick since I ate the lunch. In the second example, the time expression, the depuis, is at the beginning of the sentence, and we're using the dinner, le dîner, as a time. Because we could say since 5 o'clock, but we put the dinner in as the time. So depuis le dîner, since dinner, nous étudions. We have been studying. Present tense for the verb, for we have been studying. So depuis le dîner, nous étudions. Since dinner, we have been studying. The third expression, ago, there are 2 ways to express that in French. We can use il y a, which we know is the expression for there is or there are, but we're going to use it a little bit differently in these sentences. And ça fait que. Both of these will mean ago. They're going to structurally be used in different parts of the sentence and used differently. But I'll show you examples with both. These examples that you see, it's the same sentence written 2 ways. So the first one with il y a, pour exprimer ago avec une période de temps. C'est seulement utilisé pour les actions qui commencent et finissent dans le passé. On conjugue le verbe au passé composé. So il y a is used to express ago with a period of time. it is only used for actions that begin and end in the past. So these are not actions that are continuing to the present. These are actions that are completed, that finished in the past. And this time you'll conjugate your verb in the passé composé, which is how we would express the idea in English as well, as something that someone did. The il y a and then the time goes à la fin de la phrase, at the end of the sentence. So you can see in these sentences here, at the end of the sentence, we have il y a 2 semaines, 2 weeks ago, and il y a 1 heure, 1 hour ago. So the il y a goes before the time, so it's like saying ago 2 weeks or ago 1 hour. It's just the structure that works in French. So, je suis allé en France il y a 2 semaines. So this verb, je suis allé, is in the passé composé. I went to France 2 weeks ago. Nous sommes arrivés il y a 1 heure. Again, the verb's in the passé composé. We arrived 1 hour ago. Now, we can also express that idea of ago with the expression ça fait que. And there are a couple other ones. There's also voilà que and il y a que. But ça fait que is the most common one, and I don't want to confuse you by throwing too many expressions at you all at once, especially on a Wednesday where you're doing this on a video. So ça fait que. It's the same definition. You're expressing ago with a period of time. It's only used for actions that begin and end in the past, and you conjugate your verb in the passé composé. So the difference in the structure is the ça fait que is going at the beginning of the sentence, and in place of the ... is whatever that time is. So the same sentence, je suis allé en France il y a 2 semaines, I went to France 2 weeks ago, we can express that with ça fait 2 semaines que je suis allé en France. 2 weeks ago, I went to France. It doesn't change the meaning in English, it's just where it's placed in the sentence. Il y a and the time has to go at the end of the sentence. Ça fait que with the time has to go at the beginning of the sentence, but they have the exact same meaning. So nous sommes arrivés il y a 1 heure was we arrived 1 hour ago, and same meaning here for ça fait 1 heure que nous sommes arrivés. What I have down here at the bottom of the page is just a summary chart, and then I would highly recommend when you go to do the practice on the next page, once you've got this chart filled in, if you take a screenshot, and then when you get down to the practice, you hit the plus sign, go to photo library, and then you can insert that right onto this page, top, bottom, move it around, wherever it works, so that you've got it right there to look at without having to keep scrolling back and forth. So you're going to translate these 10 sentences and submit that, and then you'll be done for Wednesday.